Alright, hello YouTube, it's Tyrese again, and happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Jesus, happy birthday to you. Okay, alright, that's a Full Metal Jacket reference if you didn't get it. I don't know, I just thought I'd do that. And anyways, these are my Christmas presents. Not all of them have arrived. I also got new headphones. They're Audio Technica. That came in, some shirts, and something to keep my vinyl records in. And but today I'm going to show you the records and the two CDs that came in. I'm worried on one more CD, which is Flood by Boris, which is actually the number one thing on my list. And I also got $200, by the way. And I'm also going to unbox those Funko Pops. But anyways, let's do the CDs first. The first one is Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones. I'm not an extremely huge Rolling Stones fan. I like them, but I'm not extremely crazy about them. But this is probably my favorite album by them, if I had to say. Which, I like the Rolling Stones a lot, but they're not like... I think they're kind of overrated, but they're still like a really good group, in my opinion. But I personally prefer, like... Oh, my girlfriend's texting me. I think I kind of prefer the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Radiohead, obviously, over them. And this one, I was actually surprised they got me this. But this is a John Zorn album, and I've never listened to this before. And the reason they got me another CD, but I didn't know who it was, so I just decided to send that back. And the reason why I didn't send this back is because I like John Zorn, but I've never listened to this album. He has an album called Naked City, which is very heavily influenced by grindcore and stuff like that, and it's like a really, really unique jazz album. One of my favorite jazz albums ever. Probably one of the most chaotic jazz albums of all time. Probably one of the most unique as well. But, so I kept that because of that. But, I've never listened to this album, and I listened to it just yesterday, and it's obviously very different than Naked City, which maybe I might even get Naked City on CD at least, just because I don't want this to be the only John Zorn CD I own when this isn't even anywhere near as good as Naked City, in my opinion. Which Naked City also kind of formed a group after that album, like his quartet did. They broke up now, but some of the stuff they made wasn't even jazz. Like I think later they made some dark ambient or something like that, kind of creepy music. But anyways, let's do the Funko Pops next. Blade Runner 2049. Now, Rick Deckard and Officer K. Now, this is probably my favorite movie of 2017. The original Blade Runner is my second favorite film of all time. And these are the only two I'm going to get off the movie, though, unfortunately. So, oh well. But now, let me see. Let me unbox Rick Deckard first. Okay. He's the main character in the original movie. I would say that there are some things that this one actually does better than the new one. But I would say that the new one does better than the original. Like I would say that I honestly think the protagonist in the new one is actually kind of a better protagonist than the old one, honestly. And obviously the visuals would be better than the new one, because that doesn't really count, because the visuals in the old one are still amazing even for its time, but this one is honestly some of the best, maybe even the best visuals I've ever seen in the new one. I think the love interest in the new one's better, but for all in all, I think the old one has a way better plot, and I like way better antagonist, better story, in my opinion. So, alright, let me see here. Okay. Alright, there we go. There he is. Okay, now I'm going to unbox the records. And once Flood by Boris comes in, I will unbox that. Okay. Put this away. Alright, let's do Since I Left You by the Avalanches first. This is probably my favorite Ponderphonics album of all time, and definitely my favorite Australian album. This album is made entirely out of samples. Probably a very, very unique. They actually made an album in 2016, which I don't know when they finished this album, but they've probably been working on this for ages. But I wouldn't be surprised if they started working on the Wildflower, their second album, right after they finished this, and it took them like 16 years to make. That wouldn't even surprise me, because this is like genius. This album is, honestly. Just all the stuff just sounds like it belongs there. All the samples do. And actually, hold on, the song "Frontier Psychiatrist," which is actually my favorite song on it. It's somewhat different, basically, on the vinyl version than the MP3 version. Because basically, the vocals on the with that boy needs therapy. They're psychosomatic. You know, those vocals. This kind of sound collage. They're saying the same things, but I don't know if it's different people, but they're saying it somewhat differently. But yeah, and this one, I've never had a record come like this. Now, this is Lonesome Crowded West by Modest Mouse. Came out in 1997. I recently got into this group, but it comes with 2 records. I mean, it comes with 2 like sleeves. One for side, like the first record, and the other for the second record. And I never had one come like this. It's kind of cool, but pretty different. But and this comes with a download code too as well. So I'll give you the download code. Hold on. Here you go. You can download it. All right. Now, anyways. Now let's see. And also, this is kind of cool too. See, let me see here. Okay. If you see the words Modest Mouse, they match up if you put them together. Now, anyways, this is for the first disc, and this is kind of cool. Basically, it's like a glossy thing, kind of looks like a photograph. On the back, we have the lyrics, and let me see. Let me get the record out. There we go. This is the record. Okay. I'll put this one away, and then I'll get the record out of the second one. In that bag, it didn't come with that. I just put that in there just so I can keep them together. But yeah. Okay. And so the second one, same thing, you know, lyrics on the back, and then front it has that like a glossy kind of photograph thing. I'm gonna take the record out now. Okay, here we go. Side B, side A. Okay. All right. Put this away. You put it back in that plastic sleeve as well. Okay. Alright, and now the Clockwork Orange soundtrack, my favorite movie. I would say the soundtrack, I guess, is good, but I only got it because I like the movie so much, honestly. But it's a good soundtrack. Just most of it is just kind of classical music and some electronic versions of classical music, and I obviously had to paste those over it just so I wouldn't have nudity. But anyway, so now there are some pretty good tracks. I like the title theme, the time steps, and pretty much every single thing Wendy Carlos did on here, which she was known as Walter Carlos before she got a sex change. But it comes with this like a Warner Brothers kind of wrapping thing, kind of cool. All right, that's about it. So, bye. Thank you.